If your baby will only nap while they're being held, you're definitely not alone. Maybe your baby falls asleep beautifully in your arms, but the moment you try to put them down, they wake up. Or maybe they sleep for 20 or 30 minutes in the crib, but sleep for an hour or more when they're on your chest. And at some point, you might start wondering, have I created a bad habit? Why does my baby only sleep when held? In this video, we're going to talk about why this happens, because in most cases, there's a very understandable biological reason behind it. And understanding that can help you stop feeling like something has gone wrong. I'm Lindsay, co-founder of the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program, where we train sleep professionals around the world in responsive, evidence-informed approaches to baby sleep. A lot of families that we work with feel confused about contact naps. Some people love them, others love them for a season but then want to move on. Some people feel completely trapped by them, but almost everyone eventually asks the same question: why does my baby only sleep when held? So let's unpack what's really going on. The first thing to understand is that babies and young toddlers almost always prefer to sleep in close proximity to a warm, responsive adult. In that sense, baby humans really aren't very different from adult humans and many other mammals. If you look across species, it's incredibly common for babies to sleep in a nest with their parent or siblings. So it's never surprising to me when parents tell me their baby naps longer on them than in a crib. Because from a biological perspective, closeness often equals safety, and safety is one of the key ingredients for sleep. Now, at this point, some of you might be thinking, honestly, the last thing I want at night is someone touching me, and I completely get that. I'm not much of a nighttime cuddler either. I personally sleep much better when I have plenty of space. But even if you're someone who prefers your own space when you sleep, I'm guessing you still need people when life gets difficult. If you've had a stressful day, you might want to talk to someone. If you're feeling sad or overwhelmed, a hug can still feel comforting. So even adults who value independence still rely on connection sometimes. The difference is that adults have many ways of regulating themselves. Babies don't. Babies and young children have far fewer tools for dealing with discomfort or stress. Their brains are still developing, especially the part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, that helps us to think logically, problem solve, and calm ourselves down. So when they feel overwhelmed, frustrated, overstimulated, or tired, they often need help calming down. And one of the most effective ways babies regulate is through physical proximity to a caregiver. Your warmth, your breathing, your smell, your movement, all of those signals help their nervous system settle, which is why many babies fall asleep more easily when they're being held. They're not manipulating, it's just regulation. Another very common experience is this: your baby falls asleep in your arms, you carefully transfer them to the crib, and suddenly they wake up. Parents often feel like they've done something wrong when this happens, but there are a few simple reasons why this transition can be difficult. First, there's a big sensory change. In your arms, your baby feels warmth, pressure, movement, and your heartbeat. When they're placed on a mattress, all of that disappears instantly. That change can startle them, especially in younger babies. Second, babies cycle through lighter stages of sleep quite frequently, so even a small change in position can wake them up. And finally, sometimes babies simply wake up and realize they're no longer close to the person who helped them fall asleep. Not because they're confused about where they are, I think they probably know exactly where they are, but because they'd probably still rather be with you. And honestly, that's a pretty understandable preference. Another reason babies may prefer contact naps is simply repetition. They learn through patterns. If something consistently works to help them calm down and fall asleep, they come to expect it. That doesn't mean you've created a bad habit. It usually just means you found something that worked. And most parents end up contact napping for two very good reasons. It works, and it's often lovely. But sometimes, over time, it becomes difficult to sustain. And if that's where you are, it's completely reasonable to start thinking about other options. Something I always remind parents of is that sleep development rarely follows a straight line. You might have a day when your baby naps beautifully in their crib, and then the next day it falls completely apart. That doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. Babies go through constant developmental changes. They have good days and harder days, just like us. So if you're experimenting with different sleep setups, expect a mixture of successes and setbacks along the way. That's normal. Another question I hear a lot is whether contact naps have to stop completely. And the answer is no, not necessarily. Some families decide they'd like one crib nap a day so they can cook, work, shower, or spend time with another child, but they keep the other naps as contact naps. That flexibility works really well for some babies. Other babies do better with more consistency. There isn't a universal rule here. You know your baby best. A lot of parents also start thinking about contact naps when they're preparing for daycare, nursery, or another caregiver, and it's really common to worry that your baby won't sleep for anyone else. But babies are often much more adaptable than we expect. Many babies learn that different people do things differently. They might fall asleep one way with you and another way with a caregiver. So it's not always necessary to change everything at home in order to prepare for that transition. If your baby only naps when held, it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. In many cases, it simply reflects how babies regulate, how they feel safe, and how they learn through repetition. Contact naps are not a failure. They're one of many ways babies get the support they need to fall asleep and feel safe. And if they're working for you right now, that's completely okay. If they're no longer working for your family, there are gentle ways to start exploring other options. And in the next video, we'll talk about exactly that, how babies gradually transition away from contact naps when families feel ready. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more videos about baby sleep that are grounded in biology, development, and compassion. And if you're a health, lactation or childcare professional, or you're considering switching careers and want to learn how to support families with sleep in a deeper and more responsive way, you can book a free call with our team using the link below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.